In today's video, we're going to be discussing why I recommend having $5,000 set aside if you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking to buy your first house. There's a lot of reasons behind this, and we're going to go over them. But first of all, I recommend that you start by going to optoutprescreen.com if you're even thinking about buying a house. Go there. You can watch the video. I'll have it linked below in the description. Check that out so you can avoid all kinds of headaches with telemarketers. But you want to get that taken care of first because it takes about 5 days before it goes into effect. Now, about the $5,000. There's going to be a lot of variable costs when you're buying a house, and you don't see them right up front. And a lot of times people can get their money back. Again, this is going to be depending on your situation. So all of the numbers we're discussing, they're going to be estimates. And this is just for reference purposes so that we can have an explanation as to why I'm recommending this to you. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go here first. As you can see, we're dealing with a $150,000 purchase price. So that's where we're going to start. That's a good price range for a first-time home buyer in this area of Texas. Like I said, other areas are going to be different, but this is for example purposes. The first thing we're going to be going over is the earnest money. Why do we need an earnest money deposit, and what is an earnest money deposit? An earnest money deposit it occurs as soon as you find a house and you want to go into contract. You're going to be putting down money, and it's going to go to the title company. So this is you, interested buyer, and your earnest money. It's going to be held by the title company. The title company will hang on to it so that you have some time to decide whether you really want this house or not. So you get to go over it and think, maybe I want it, maybe I don't. But it also is for the seller. It lets the seller know that you're really serious about buying this place. So they're going to take it off the market. So when you see those for sale signs out there that say pending or under contract, that means this house has come off the market and they're not going to be dealing with any other potential buyers, just you. So it's they called it good faith money, that we're going to proceed with trying to get this house sold because it's a process. There's going to be, quite a bit involved in getting there. It's easy, but it's just technical. There's a lot of laws and stuff involved with waiting periods and estimates and getting things out to you in a timely manner. But the earnest money is the thing that you're going to put up first as soon as you go into contract. So that money is going to be held back by title. They don't get to keep it. And the only time that money's dispersed is if we go to closing, and it'll be applied to some of your closing costs or down payment, but we'll figure out your situation when we get there. So that's the first thing. So before we've even done anything, you've got to write a check for $1,500. So there's $1,500 of your $5,000 in earnest money, and all we've done is sign a contract to say, I'm going to check this house out. All right, next up, the inspection. You want to get an inspection. You definitely want an inspection. And what the inspection does is it's not required, but it's always recommended. And if you call the inspector and have them go out, they're going to look over this thing with a fine-tooth comb and tell you everything that's wrong with it. They're going to go inside and out, from the foundation to the roof to the pipes. Anything that could be wrong with this, they're going to let you know about it, so that in this 10-day time or whatever you've set aside where you can get your earnest money back, if you decide, oh, this place is too much of a mess, I do not want this headache, you can back out and you'll get your earnest money back, and it's no harm, no foul. Everybody just walks away. But you're out the money for the inspection. But it's worth the money to get it inspected to find out whether you even want to go forward with this thing or not. So once you've gotten the inspection done and you say, okay, well, the inspection looks good, or reveals things like, hey, there may be a condition with the roof or something else that you want fixed, or this sink doesn't work, or these lights don't turn on and off. You can negotiate to get that stuff fixed. But next up, we're going to say, well, this is why it's important. There's going to be things you don't notice right there. Yeah, I saw the tooth, but he's also missing an eyebrow. It's just kind of funny. Okay, so next up, the appraisal. The appraisal is going to be required by the lender. It always is. And they want to know what this house actual value is. They're not going to loan you $300,000 for a house that's only worth $150,000. They're just not going to do it. So they want to make sure that the house is valued correctly. So let's say that you get in there and you've agreed to the purchase price of $150,000. And then the appraiser comes back and says, well, this house is only worth $140,000. Well, the lender's only going to give you $140,000 for a loan on that house. You can pay $150,000 for it if you want, but you're going to have to pay the extra $10,000 over the what the difference is between the value and what they're asking for. You can do that. People pay above market value for houses all the time, especially if they really want it. But as a first-time home buyer, and we're looking at possibly getting down payment assistance and seller credits, this is not what you want to do. So on the flip side, let's say the appraiser comes back and tells you that this house is worth $160,000. Well, you're already locked into the contract, so this house is already worth $10,000 more than what you're getting ready to pay for it. So that's a bonus for you. How that really works out. So that's the reason why the lender just wants to make sure that they're not getting ready to loan money on a house that's not worth it. The appraiser is going to do a lot of what the inspector does, but they're trying to gather the home's value. And there's a lot of factors that go into this, like what's the neighborhood like? What kind of amenities does it have? Does it have a swimming pool? Does it have an extra bedroom? Are they calling it a fourth bedroom, even though it doesn't have a closet? It's actually an office. Is there a fireplace? Where are the wash and dryer connections hooked up? The size of the home, square footage, and in the area, what have other homes sold for? But like the inspector, they may find things, an issue with the roof or water damage on a ceiling that would indicate some type of roof condition or a plumbing leak somewhere or cracks in the foundation to say, this is going to bring the value of this house down some, or we want to get this stuff fixed before we're going to move ahead. Because the underwriters are going to get to see the appraisal. They don't get to see the inspection. We're not going to show that to them. But the underwriters for your loan are going to see the appraisal. And if they see things marked in there that could be a flag to them, like this roof needs to be replaced, they're going to say, hey, we're all good with this loan, but you've got to get this roof replaced first. And, it could be it's negotiated between you and the seller. But it's not always the case, but you want to know what you're getting yourself into. This is a huge purchase, huge commitment. So you want to know these things. Next up, we have the survey. Now, the survey is required because it covers where the house sits. They want to know, like the inspection covers where what's wrong with the house itself, but the survey covers the land that the house sits on. It defines the property lines. Are there easements there for like a utility company? Say there's a power lines out back or a cell tower. There's something around there where an easement's been put in place for repair crews to get into it. And you want to know about your property lines. Maybe you think you're getting, a half an acre and you're really only getting a quarter acre because whoever lived there beforehand, they decided to move the fence over and the neighbors didn't know about it. So that's what you want to know, because the neighbors can come back and say, no, that's not yours. That's mine. Get off my property. So you really want to know what your boundaries are and what the legal description and definition is. There's also a lot of other legal things that cover the title company and you. And, if somebody comes back and says, no, that's not how it's supposed to be, that this plot of land is marked wrong. These were never the original boundaries. So it's legal protection for you as well. So that's why we want to get into it. So if we look at these numbers here, well, let's go ahead and look at the survey. See, this is what an actual survey looks like. So you can see there's where the house is located. Here's your property lines all around like that. That's a better view. And it'll give you the street. And it's going to have a different location and a GPS coordinate on there to let you know, hey, this is the actual borders. And then you can get your fence put along there. But you want to make sure like your neighbor's fence isn't here on your property or their driveway cuts through. It's really, really beneficial for you in all these cases. So see, that's why while we're here, you're already in $3,400 to $4,600 as we're getting started into your loan, your home purchase process. So you can get this money back later. You may get seller credits to get some of this money back where they agree to pay for this stuff. The house may already have a survey on it, so it may not even be necessary. I always suggest negotiating that the seller provide the survey going into it, so it's on the original contract, because you want that there. If there's later on there's an addendum, I found that the addendum will come out of any seller credits that are given to you, because the seller may say, "Hey, I want to contribute a little bit." So they can give some seller credits back to help you with any of your costs involved. They can't help with the down payment money. That's absolutely not allowed. But they can help with any of your title fees or your prepaid insurance or any of those kinds of things. This money, this inspection, you're going to pay out of pocket up front. You're going to pay the $1,500 up front. You're going to pay the appraisal up front. Survey, we don't know about. We don't know. There may be, the seller may go ahead and have the survey ready. So we don't even need to include this in any of that. So if we don't include that, then that's great. It costs you less money. So that is why I recommend having the $5,000 set aside before we start moving into this thing. Now, again, these are estimated numbers. These are not factual. We don't know. We don't know how much the survey is going to cost. We don't know if you're going to need a survey. We don't know how much the appraisal is going to cost. We don't know how much insurance is. We don't know how much the taxes are. We don't know what the seller credits are going to be. We don't even know the loan type that you're going to be working in, because there's different seller credits that concern different loan types and what kind of discounts you can get. But I just wanted to give you a heads up to understand why, if we speak on the phone and I say, do you have at least $5,000 set aside going into this? That's why you need it, because you're going to have upfront costs. But for this video and why you need $5,000, that's why. I hope this helps. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll have links in the description below to my website, to my application, and any of my contact information. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful and blessed day.